Hi everybody. I just wanted to share my graduation footage and just discuss a little bit what it was like going back to college as a woman of a certain age. I'm not a kid, and I just got my master's degree in psychology, media psychology. And if you want to find out about that, let's get into it. So I just graduated. I just went through the ceremony and I got my master's in psychology with a concentration in media psychology. So I'm so excited, and so it's over, and that was such a wonderful day. So I got my degree at Touro University Worldwide. It's amazing school. It's basically a medical university, and it specializes in either medical for doctors or psychology. And so I decided to go back and get my degree in psychology, media psychology concentration. So the media psychology degree has to do with advertising, marketing, media production, producing, political campaigns, really anything that has to do with how the public perceives media and how to convince them of your message or buying your product. So it's like media psyops basically, and I loved it. It was like the most exciting degree for me. I have a background, I worked for 10 years at a TV station, and I was a producer, writer, and doing ad sales for business and financial news for 10 years. And so I've also always worked in sales. After I left working there, I went into logistics sales. And so it really covers everything having to do with everything I'm interested in, including media and media production. So it's a broad base of knowledge, and I just loved it. So one of the things to consider when you're going back to college is it's a huge time commitment. It took me 2 years, and it was online, which was amazing. And studies have shown that actually online learning is more effective. Students learn better, and I can't remember the exact percentage. It was like 62 or 65% more effective, but it's a lot of workload. So the first thing to consider if you're thinking about going back to online master's degree program is the workload. It was about 500 to 1,000 pages a week of reading material. I had to do 2 term papers, mini term papers a week. We had classroom get-togethers twice a week where we had to do assignment, post, and then discuss each other's assignment and what we thought about the topic for that week. So it was a huge time commitment. I had also a term paper every 4 weeks, a major term paper every 4 weeks in 8-week modules. So you had 2. So basically 2 papers a week, mini papers, and then a major term paper every 4 weeks. And then the final term paper was due at the 8-week, and then you go to the second module, and it was just an ongoing module basically for 2 years. So it's a huge workload. So something to consider is your social life and your workload. I had to actually work full-time too, and so I basically put my social life on hold. I literally lost friends during that. People didn't understand. It's like I have a term paper due every 2 a week. That's a lot, plus all the 500 to 1,000 pages, plus working full-time in a job. It's a huge workload. So some people didn't understand, and they weren't really that supportive to going back to college, and rolling their eyes and really not encouraging that degree. But I knew it was right for me, so that was just something that I'd always wanted to do since I was a little girl. I was planning on getting my master's degree, and a lot of it was in for my grandmother too. Like my grandmother Louise, like she always encouraged me to go back to get my master's degree, go to college, get the education, and that was really huge with her. And so it was just something I was always inspired to do. It was for myself, but also for my grandmother too, and she really encouraged that and encouraged me to be all that I can be and get out there and achieve things. So instructors were amazing. A lot of these instructors they were doctors, they had a therapy license, they had like their black belt in martial arts. One of them had a pilot's license and 4 kids. She was, did speaking engagements. They were just all amazing. Like this Touro University I went to is a medical university. It was just amazing. So anyway, I really, really enjoyed it, and they have a wide variety of programs. But the third thing I would have to say is there's just never been a better time to go back to college. Cutting, the mustard with a bachelor's degree is really not going to make it in today's society anymore. A bachelor's degree is almost like a high school diploma, and so many jobs and careers out there really require a master's. Like when I worked in the media business, everyone had a master's degree. Nobody just had a bachelor's degree. Even the assistants had a master's degree. So in the media business, it's like really big to have a master's degree. And it just puts you on a whole nother level when you're out there in the job market. It's something you're always going to have. It's something you can apply to such a wide variety of careers. It makes you more competitive. It gives you an edge in this market. And then also, I want to say, now that we're in COVID right now, there's just never been a better time to go back to school, and online is perfect. Not only is it amazing and you can work at your own pace, but during lockdowns, it's like the perfect time to go back and get your master's degree. And even if you don't want to get a master's degree or your bachelor's degree, you can just go take skill classes. They have like little skill set for online type careers or online skills that you can take that are also amazing. So it just is something that's so important, like when you're shut down, to get out there and do something to start a new chapter of your life, something to really work on and look forward to. And it's getting really cold out here and windy. I'm losing my light too. But I just want to say that I just am so excited that I got my degree. I'm really glad that I got that done and over with, and I'm just so grateful because it made me also feel like kind of fresh and new, like starting a new chapter in my life. Like this old life is over. I got my master's degree, and then the friends that I lost due to the master's degree really showed themselves as maybe not a supporter to my growth, or maybe somebody that can be a supportive friend when you're just trying to get a school. Like you can't really understand that somebody's busy for a couple years. I guess not. So anyway, it is what it is. But I would definitely say you have to be prepared to lose friends or lose a relationship or lose whatever. But if you are out there to improve yourself, anyone you lose should have already been lost. Like they should have already been out of there. And it shows people's true colors too. So that really did happen to me, and the 2 years was just really transformational and life-changing for me. Like I'm just so grateful that I did that. I feel such a sense of personal achievement. I feel like it even raised my self-esteem. It made me feel better about myself. I'd always wanted my master's. I was always extremely good in school. I always loved school, and I love the topic and subject matter. Like I love psychology. Like I will sit there all day and work on psychology. Also, in Vedic astrology, I'm a Scorpio moon in the 8th house, which is all about the hidden knowledge. Like I always want to know, like the psychology of the mind is the 8th house. So it's like delving into the subject that I love so much. So anyway, I just wanted to share like some video footage of my experience and just kind of share like what it was like going back to school as an adult. I'm not a teenager. I'm not even in my 30s. And in fact, like a lot of people in my family on my mother's side all went back. Like my mother went back mid-40s. Her sister, my aunt, went back. My uncle, I think he even went back in his 60s, late 50s or 60s, got his master's degree. And a couple of my other cousins, I believe they got them when they were like 30. But anyway, it's just like a fantastic thing to get, and you just always have it forever. So anyway, I'm just gonna roll some footage and keep going on here. So here, I just want to go over a little data and research basically. If you are interested in checking out the online college, you can go to Touro University at tuw.edu and check out all the different degree programs that they have, doctorates, masters, bachelors, and it's for people worldwide. You can be anywhere in the world, and you just have to put your homework in at whatever time is convenient to you, as long as you hit the deadlines that they give for your time zone. And so everybody meets and turns in the homework at the same time, basically all around the world. So that's really cool. Okay. For median annual earnings of 25 to 32-year-olds by educational attainment, if you look at the year 2013, having a bachelor's degree is nearly double just having a high school diploma or even a 2-year AA degree. In the old days, it used to not be that big of a difference. If you go way back and look at like early boomers and late boomers, the disparity used to not quite be as wide, but you can tell as in the modern world with new tech jobs and all the changes that have happened, it's really widened the gap between those who have a higher education and those who don't. And that's just for a bachelor's degree. It says here 45,500 is for those who have a bachelor's degree as compared to 28 or 30,000 for those who just have, an AA degree or just some college on average. In this chart, it really shows why having a master's is so important. The unemployment rate for a master's is 3.6% as compared to 6.8% for an associate's degree. And even if you have a doctorate degree, it's down to 2.5%. So having a master's gives you somewhere nearly half of the unemployment rate than people more at the bottom of the educational pool. So it's just a leg up. They say it's lonely at the top. It's going to have less qualified candidates at the very top for higher positions and less competition, basically, for higher educational jobs, because across the population, only a very small percentage of people ever get their master's or doctorate degree. So on this chart, it just shows your monthly income, basically, based on your degree between, what's going on in $2012 as compared to the old days, basically. In the old days, there wasn't actually such a huge widening of, gap, basically, between, just having a high school diploma and a bachelor's degree. Like in the old days, it said 2503 for just high school. And then for bachelor's was like 5960 and master's 6350 approximately. So back in the old days, it wasn't such a big gap. But nowadays, yeah, it's a huge gap. Like we really see society has changed to where high school is about $3,000 a month and you have your master's at $8618. That's quite a big difference. Actually, even bachelor's is $7,232. And for those with professional and doctorate degrees, that's like $10,382 per month. And with rising prices of everything being so expensive, you really do need $8,000 to $10,000 a month to just be able to afford everything. The rents in my area where I live right now are, $1,800 for just a 1-bedroom. 2 bedrooms are like $2,800. Homes are $1 million. Things are expensive. And so to really have access to the best jobs, it really can benefit you to have that education behind you and have that on your resume and have your degree basically to help your career along and help you have access to getting higher positions. And even if you have your own business, it's really nice to be able to put that on your website. I have such and such degree, If you look at people, even like Ben Shapiro from the Daily Wire, he has a very successful YouTube channel and website for news, but it gives him incredible prestige because he's a Harvard lawyer. He's a Harvard degreed lawyer. And so even though he's doing that and technically he doesn't need a degree, it really gives him a lot of extra credibility. And it just does. Or Dr. Steve Turley, one of my other favorite political news channels, he's a doctor. He's a former college professor. And so it's just that credibility factor, even in just YouTube, for example. There's so many other people. It's just a couple of examples off the top of my head of some of my favorite channels. And so anyway, let's move on. And last but not least, let's talk about higher vibration. I believe getting your degree makes you feel so much better about yourself. You have more confidence. You have higher self-esteem. It raises your self-esteem because now you know you have that education. You have learned so many new things. You've met new people. Now you have that on your resume. You can use that, on the book that you wrote, on your blog, on your YouTube channel, in your career. It's on your resume. You have the qualifications to go for higher management positions if you work in a corporate job. It just has so many uses. You just feel, fantastic, and you know that you have access to make more money, you have more opportunity, and that gives you peace, I'd have to say. And so it really does make you feel awesome. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Like and subscribe, and I will be putting out more content now. Okay, thanks so much. Bye.